Welcome to Honest Signals, a new video PowerPoint. This presentation is about building trust and connections, because it's not always easy to improve your verbal and nonverbal delivery for conversations and presentations. This presentation will help you understand what aspects of your delivery to focus on. So effective nonverbal delivery is based in authenticity and charisma as we build trust. Now, authenticity, that's about honesty. Charisma, it's a little more tricky. Charisma, as Sandy Pentland describes it, is warmth and strength together. So we want to have confidence in you, but feel as though you're approachable as well. So we're going to begin by looking at what Nick Morgan suggests that we should do in his book, Trust Me. Morgan suggests that we connect in personal space. This has to do with aligning values by understanding our audience, making eye contact, using space so that we can use proximity and closeness to connect, and demonstrating warmth by smiling, the fundamental human way of showing happiness and pleasure. The honest signals that help you do this are influence, which are mirrors, speech patterns that help indicate your positioning in the conversation, and mimicry, which is the nonverbal copying that indicates connection, your mirror neurons at work. In addition to connecting in personal space, Morgan suggests that we're passionate about content. Here, honest signals can help you again. Your activity level indicates your level of interest in the conversation or the person you're speaking to. And the consistency, the smoothness of your speech patterns indicates focused thought and professionalism. So if you know what you're talking about, you can speak fluidly in the moment. This also allows you to convey authenticity and charisma. It builds confidence because you know your subject matter, and it shows that you are honestly an expert. And lastly, Morgan suggests that we listen charismatically. And this involves listening analytically before the conversation, analyzing who is the audience, what are their needs, where is our alignment. During the conversation, which is empathic listening, which is all about using your honest signals and adjusting them in the moment to engage with your audience. And then finally, analytically, again, after the conversation, to think about what was it and what were the signals that individual or individuals you were speaking to, what were the signals they were sending you while you were having the conversation, and what does that mean for future conversations. Fortunately or unfortunately, all of us are wired with an optimism bias. What that means is we perceive things based on our previous experience and what we want them to be. So if you engage using honest signals to convey authenticity and charisma, you are more likely to get your audience to believe and trust you because they want to. They're comfortable in that situation. And that signals safety, and it works to your advantage. Now, there are many ways to improve nonverbal and verbal communication, but one of the easiest ways is to focus on 4 nonverbal aspects, the honest signals, that were developed by Sandy Pentland and his research team in the Media Lab at MIT. I'm going to tell you about one study that Pentland did. They went to a business plan competition. At this competition, Pentland and his research associates studied the nonverbal and verbal interactions of the contestants at the competition the day before at a networking event. Now, using technology, they measured the honest signals of the contestants. Then, without reading the contestants' pitch or their business plan, they were able to predict with 87% accuracy which contestants were going to win the competition. Pretty impressive. If technology can predict who is going to be more trustworthy and authentic in a presentation with 87% accuracy, imagine what our brains can do. And imagine how important it is then to convey an honest, trustworthy, authentic, and charismatic presentation on top of your content expertise. So let's look at what these 4 honest signals are and how you can use them to your advantage. The first that we've already mentioned is influence, and this is measured by nonverbal patterns and language. If you're using language that is accepted and expected by your audience, you are going to have a better position within the conversation. This is how we measure influence. For example, say you're a tech geek that's got to give a presentation to a bunch of uninformed end users. If you use a lot of technical jargon, and language that your audience doesn't understand, they're not going to trust you as much. Your positioning in the room may be one of an expert, but we also know from research studies that people don't trust experts that don't use language that makes sense to them. So mirror the expectations of your audience. Speak in a way that engages them and reflects their positioning. You can do this through word choice, topic choice, and any other number of verbal patterns. Next, engage the mirror neurons. Look at mimicry, and this is measured by the nonverbal mirroring and actions. So, for example, if you've ever been sitting across the table from someone with their arms folded across their chest, you might find that you too have folded your arms across your chest. These are your mirror neurons in action. We connect through nonverbal communication. So if you find that your audience is closed off, you may close off too. So open and engage them. Are you projecting confidence and warmth? Smile. It will have people smile back. Create a positive nonverbal alignment through mirrored gestures that are open and trustworthy. Also consider your activity level. Activity level is the honest signal that's measured by your level of energy. So are you demonstrating excitement through your tone and actions? Are you projecting confidence through appropriate timing and activity levels? If we're too excited, it conveys that we're nervous. If we're too relaxed, we may be disinterested. So find the happy medium. Openness and stillness convey confidence, but you have to also convey interest. If you're interested in what you're talking about, other people will be interested too. Finally, be consistent. Consistency is the honest signal that's measured by fluidity of speech patterns. So if you're fluid in speech and tone, people think you know what you're talking about. If your language is jerky, it indicates that you're not focused. You're not focused on the topic, you're not focused on the listener, and that indicates a lack of interest, as well as a lack of confidence, as well as a lack of knowledge. So take Dr. Sandy Pentland's advice. Combine that with Dick Morgan's suggestions in Trust Me, and use honest signals to help you execute with grace.